to go through the presentation first, and at the end of the presentation, we can have a Q&A session and also some discussion. So I don't know if you guys have questions, you can just drop those questions on the chat and we'll go through them at the end of the presentation and answer some of the questions that you guys have. So I hope we are all on the same spot and everybody is listening clearly what I'm saying. If not, just unmute yourself and just say hello so that I confirm we are all set.
Hi, Arno. I just wanted to ask, are you
I
going
get you.
to
I'm good.
record this?
Go on AWS.
Yeah, are you going to record this or not?
We can record it.
Yes, the session is recorded.
Black Warrior is there. I think she's going to take care of
The
that.
session is recorded.
Okay, good. Niso, you had something to say?
No, as you asked if we are getting you, so I just answered.
Okay. What about Lumin? Are you all with us? Are you getting us? Lumin? Okay. So I hope he or she is getting what we are saying. So let's kick off. So in today's world, we are in an era of AI. We are literally talking about AI everywhere, every day. You cannot spend 1 hour a day without hearing someone talking about AI, either in what you are doing or in learning in your environment in all your activity. So today AI is just like the new, I would say, it's just like when we started talking about technology, everybody was talking about technology. But today people are now talking more focus on AI, what AI can do, what AI is doing, and where we can use AI. And that's a little bit about all what we are going to see today, how it started, where it is today, and what the future of AI is. So that's what all this webinar will be today. So is to the goal of this is to talk about how we can demystify artificial intelligence large model by providing clear, engaging overview of how they work and what we can do with them and where we are heading to, and also provide practical real world example. So when I mean by practical real world example, I mean by uh, areas or real world application where we are using AI daily. So, this presentation, we are going to talk about the introduction, how everything started. We'll talk about what are LLM. You have been hearing about AI up and down, and also with the coming of ChatGPT, people are starting talking generative AI. People are talking about LLMs. What are really these LLMs? What are they? What is the difference between this LLM and AI? So at the end of this, you should be able to distinguish when you say artificial intelligence and AI. So that's what we are going to see, and we'll try to see what is behind the scene of LLM and real world application of AI. And not only talking about the real world application, the beauty of AI, the beauty of LLM, we need to also talk about the challenges that this technology is facing, and also the ethic of this technology. And then we will end our talk by talking about the future of AI, where the AI is leading us to. Is it just something that is going to happen now and then end there, or there is a future of what we are seeing? Because as you guys know, in the tech world, there are some technology that will come up and then just stop, and then the other that is going to come up and then keep on going, and they will narrate the story to a different area. For example, when we started by web 1.0, everybody was there, and then we moved from there to web 2, and we are still now on web 2. People have been trying to break into web 3, and which is not really coming up the way AI is doing. So AI is now the new thing that is coming up. For example, I think 2 3 years ago, people were talking more about blockchain, cryptocurrency, and what or not. It is still there. It has not yet. It's still there. People still talk about it, but the intensity at which people are talking about that is not the same as what we had. I think 2018, 2019, 2020. People are now more focusing on AI, what AI can do, what AI can be, how can AI be part of their life. So that is what we are going to be seeing with this technology. So introduction, when we talk about AI, what is AI? When people think every day AI, artificial intelligence, what is really AI? In a very simple and clear language, AI is simply when you take your computer, when I mean your computer, can either be your phone, your tablet, your laptop, you make it to learn and to be able to act like a human. That is, you train a certain pattern to your computer to be able to learn and to be able to act like a woman, like a human. That is to be able to learn and act like both you and I. When you ask him a question, he should be able to answer that question. So we have, for example, here you have Siri, Alexa. When you have, for example, for those that use iPhone or those that have Alexa or Google Voice in their home, when you reach home, you can say, Alexa, for example, turn on the light. It is going to turn on the light. Or you say, Alexa, off the light, it's going to off the light. Or you say, Siri, I want to call this number. It's going to go to your phone and get the number and launch the call for you. You see, there you are having a computer that is able to act to think like you. You want to call someone, you need to search that person in your phone directory and then launch the call. The AI is going to do that. Siri is going to do that for you. Or Alexa is going to help you do some tasks at home. You may be working and maybe you want to play some music. You say, Alexa, I want to play this music. You give the title, you give the author of the music. Alexa is going to search that on internet, either on internet or in his directory, and play that music for you. So that's what AI can do. And for example, a normal computer or a normal phone cannot do that without us making it to be smart. So we train that phone or we train that computer to be able to act that by either installing some software like Siri or Alexa in hardware to be able to behave that way. So traditional AI, because nowadays we talk about traditional and generative AI. What is traditional AI and what is generative AI? When we talk about traditional AI, it's something that is going to focus on understanding the rules, the logic, and analyzing the data to be able to classify, predict something. For example, let's say you're on Facebook, you trying to go through pages, like photos and everything. Now, based on what you like, with traditional AI, we can predict that you probably like this type of categories of profile on Facebook, and they will then recommend you that. So you see, they're able to predict what you can like next, and then they will start recommending you what you can like next. That's what traditional AI is. Meanwhile, generative AI here is just by creating some is I would say it's just AI, but that can easily create content, textual content for you, or images or videos. For example, you say you can just go and say to ChatGPT, I want to know the story of let's say the story of Cameroon. ChatGPT will be able to go in based on the data that he was trained on. He will be able to go in, get the story of Cameroon, think about the story of Cameroon, and then generate that into a text and give it to you. Or you may say people are nowadays using ChatGPT to build images or video. You can say that you can go to DAL, or you ask DAL to draw an image of someone working in a farm, or you can ask him to do something for a specific thing. He will be able to bring up that image that is representing, and as more as you give more specification of what you want, it will be able to always train your ask to match exactly that. So that's the difference that you can spot out about generative AI and traditional AI. Also, generative AI are being trained on very huge data set, very large data set. When we are talking about huge data set, we are talking about data set like a lot of books, a lot of websites, a lot of articles, And that is, you just imagine the whole internet data that you train a model on that internet data. That means anything that you ask to that model should be able to reproduce that to you. Because on internet, you have almost everything. So for generative AI, instead of recognizing pattern, that is because with traditional AI, I will say, okay, this pattern implies that this user will do this. As I was explaining for the Facebook, based on who you are following, Facebook will be able to predict that you'll be following this type of user, and then they will then recommend you that. You see, it is based on what you are doing that they are able to predict, or they're able to classify different category of stuff that you have. So there's a pattern that the model try to recognize. But with generative AI, they can imagine and generate new things based on what they have learned. You see, yeah, they're not more predicting or classifying things, but they're generating things based on what they learn. For example, you tell generative AI, how do I do to, let me just take a very odd example. How do I do to break into a bank? Probably he would tell you that I was not learned to do that. And when we'll be doing some in our discussion session, I'll try to share my screen on my chat GPT and we'll try to do some little questioning prompting of chat GPT, and you guys will see the various response that chat GPT is going to return. So it always returns output based on what it is learned. This part is very crucial because if the model is not being trained on specific data and you ask questions on that data, they will not be able to answer you on that. So they only answered you based on what they have learned. So we talk about traditional AI prediction, generative AI, generating text and everything. Now let's talk about large language model. What we have been hearing LLMs, large language model, what are they really? What are large language models? We said these are type of AI that are able to generate human language. That is, if you ask him question, for example, when we're talking about traditional AI, they predict. So it will not generate, it will not tell me if I try to ask him, what should I like next? It will not tell me, go like this page. No, it will predict that you will like this, or it will classify you as a specific category of user in Facebook or in any other platform. Meanwhile, generative AI is, they will be able to generate text that you and I can read and understand, that has a certain meaning based on the data that he was trained on. This point, the data that he was trained on is very important because if you don't train the model on a specific data set and you ask him to answer question on that data set, he won't be able to answer that because he doesn't know that environment. That's why we are having a different type of models of LLM out there, those that are specific for images, those that are specific for text communication that we are doing, like ChatGPT 4, Gemini, Meta Llama, and all the rest, or Claude and everything. Those are specific for coding. Even on ChatGPT, not all the model that ChatGPT or that OpenAI would use to us are there for just conversation. There are some that are specific that they will tell you this model is specific for coding. It means when you are writing your code, that model is able to assist you or to understand what you are doing and then propose code to you. So that is what LLM. So it is producing, is generating things that you and I can easily understand. Meanwhile, the other AI, they are just doing their classification. They take this group of object belongs to this group of this belongs to this. So we can consider LLM as a super smart robot that has been trained on books. That is, we have a robot that we train that robot on textbooks, website, article, and many more. That's why you always hear out there people who say data have been stolen somewhere to train specific model or all this whatnot, because because if we don't have those data to train the model, we will not be able to have what we have today. the evolving of AI and LLM and all what we have today. It's because of the data that is available. That is why data, some people will tell you that the data is a new gold that we have in our world today. We'll not more be talking about the gold, the real gold, but we have data which is really another type of gold that exists. So and you have a lot of LLM that exist there. I already cited some of them, ChatGPT, and on ChatGPT you have ChatGPT, you have O1, O3 mini, O3, O3, O4, ChatGPT 3 and everything, ChatGPT 4. So those are different LLM large language model that exist. You also have Gemini on Google. Nowadays, today, Gemini 2.5 is one that is really hitting it out there. A lot of people, a lot of performance, the benchmark that have been carried out on Gemini show that he's the one that is leading the market now based on the output that we are receiving from that. We also have Meta Llama. If you guys used to open source model like Llama, there are Llama that is there and everything that's been handled by Facebook, and you also have Claude for most of you that do coding. You have Claude, which is handled by Entropy. So those are the different example of large model that we have. So we have been talking about LLM, large language model, to be able to generate text and everything. What really happens that a computer can be able to think? Why do we think that? How do we do for a computer to be able to think about something, to be able to answer a question that we asked him? For example, I asked a computer, who is the president of America? What do we really do that that computer is able to tell us that the president of America is Donald Trump, for example? How do we do that? So behind the scene, what is happening is we have three important parameters that we need to take into consideration when we are talking about large language model. We need to talk about the data. As I said, data, the new goal that exists. We need to talk about the data. We need to talk about the tokens, because as we all know here, computer cannot read as we human being we read. Computer cannot read a complete sentence. So what happened is we take the data, which is generally text-based data. We do what we call tokenization. So we tokenize all that data so that the model can be able to digest. And we have what we call the parameters. The parameters here is just like you have your application, you need to configure it or you need to tweak it to be able to reach a certain output that you want. So that's the role of the parameter. Yeah. So as earlier said, LLM were trained on huge amount of data, such as books, website, articles, chat. So for example, we chat using WhatsApp all day. Those chat are on internet, are on the WhatsApp server, so they can train LLM on that data. So imagine all that data that we gather from chat, from internet, different websites that exist. We cannot even count the number of websites that exist. From articles, imagine scholar articles, article published by researcher, professionals, and blogs, tech blogs, everything. Imagine those millions of articles that we use to train those LLM. So one thing that we can say, we can say, is that LLM would not just go there, start reading those articles and then answering your question. No. So for LLM to be able to answer your question, what they do is they break down those words that they have in the data set into smaller pieces, what we call token. So it means we have initially the data set that we pass. Those data sets are being break down into tokens, and this token then can either be just a word, part of a word, or just a character. For example, you have the word unbelievable. If we want to tokenize that word unbelievable, the word might become something like un as a token, believe as a token, able as a token. So you see now here that we had a word unbelievable, we tokenize that to obtain 3 tokens. And that's what we are going to pass into the LLM for the training and to be able to generate what we want. So they will send us those tokens one by one. And that's why when you will be hearing about LLM, they'll tell you of this billion parameters or this million parameter and all the rest, because all those things are very important for LLM to function. It need that to be able to give you those token back. We have now the parameter. As I said, the parameter is just something that we use to adjust when we are learning the model. So the more the parameter, the more pattern the model can learn. So it means if I have, for example, 100 million parameter, it means that model can learn a lot. I think one of the model that just came out, I think should be from ChatGPT, or I don't know whether it's ChatGPT or Gemini. They are saying that that model is capable to have 100 billion parameter, 100 billion parameter, which is very huge. Imagine a model that can learn so many patterns. It becomes very smart. It become even imagine that it become even smart like it means it has learned what everybody, not everybody, but 100 million people may know. And he's able to interpret that, and he can easily answer any question that you are going to ask him. So the real world application of AI, I would say AI today is everywhere. Even with this Zoom that we are talking, there's AI behind. For example, if you want to, there are some app that you can install in Zoom to be able to record your meeting and then do your meeting notes after. Those are AI to get your voice, to be able to transact your voice to text and send it back to you. Those are AI. You have it in your smartphone. We talked about Siri at the beginning of this presentation. We talk about Alexa. We have Google Assistant. We have this. Everybody here has a smartphone, and on this smartphone, you are able to filter, to take a picture, do some filtering, or do some type of AI stuff with those pictures. Those are AI. You can have them in shopping, online shopping, payment detection, payment and fraud detection in healthcare. When you go to the healthcare industry, you can still have AI there. It's not that you can still, you even have AI there. AI can be used to read and interpret X-ray, MRI, and everything that you can think of in healthcare. If you see most of those researchers that are in the healthcare department, they will tell you that AI is one of the things that is making them to move fast. So as AI is coming up, also research on other domains are moving fast. Something that in the past would take us, let's say, 50 years to be able to discover in a medical field may reduce maybe to 20 or to 25 or to 30 years. So just because of AI, because AI is there to accelerate. That's why I always said to people, don't see AI as someone to compete with, but see AI as someone that you can leverage to become more competitive out there. So what are the challenges that we have with AI today? One of the challenges that we have with AI is that AI can learn human bias. So imagine you train your model on an unfair data. You tell him that, okay, I need to do some hiring and I want to hire specific gender. That's the data that you have is telling that is telling the model that in my hiring process, since my company exists, I've been hiring more of this gender than this other gender. You will see that when you build your model and you want to ask your model, for example, I need to hire someone, it will always try to look for someone that is on the gender that you have been doing for the past. You see, you have a biased data that you pass on to the model and you train that model to it. So that AI now is biased. The AI is not doing what it's supposed to do. The AI is biased because the data that he used to train that model on it was also biased. So that's why someone denied a loan for example, I don't know if you guys listened to what happened in the US. I think it was early this year or late like last year, where a health insurance CEO got shot when he was going for a meeting. That was when people do some research or some article that came out on TechCrunch and on many other websites. They were saying that this the guy that do that that carry out that act was because he had a claim with this health insurance, and they the claim was classified by AI. So imagine he had a claim, he needed to had money maybe to cure or to force the insurance to take health coverage of maybe his father or whoever. But because of AI, because they use AI to make decision on his claim, he found himself refusing. The insurer found himself refusing to take care of that patient, and the guy got on his nerve and do what happened. So that's just a way to tell you how AI can be biased. AI can not just it's not just being perfect, it's not just being doing things. That's why I said AI will always help you, leverage you to become more perfect, because not all what AI gives you is 100% correct. Because the data that they are being trained on, those data there are some data that are biased. Just like today you have on internet, anybody can just write anything, any article. For example, I can get up this morning and go and start writing article on a specific user, telling that this guy is a scam, this, and then they grab that data, they train a model with that data. Each time that you ask information about that person, that model would always respond as that person being a scammer, because the data that they used to train that model was biased about the person. If the article was not right, it was not correct. So that's why we talk about AI learning from human bias data. So you also have misinformation on deepfake. That's just one of the things that I was talking about. So you write wrong information, you push those information on the internet. Since AI is being trained on public data, when I mean about public data, I mean data that are found on internet, books, everything that are found on internet. So you see, you can train AI on those fake news, on those fake images or wrong video, and AI will also just take that as, yeah, what you are telling me is correct. So I need to train, and anytime that I will ask him question about that misinformation that I provided, I train my model with, I'll always have information that is wrong. For example, I may train AI to tell AI that um, which country can I take? That there is no war in any country in the world, for example. AI will take that. AI believe what I'm telling him because I'm the one feeding him with data. I'm feeding him with data. So I expect him to learn from that data and to be able to answer any question that they will ask him regarding that context. So you also have privacy concern here, that privacy challenges that exist. For example, we said public data. I believe 100 of us here, we have our personal information that is all over internet. I believe all of us here, we have our personal information that is all over internet. Imagine, it means your privacy is not being taken care of. AI can analyze ton of those data. When you work, there are a lot of cameras working everywhere. Social media, you have your information there every. So when you work, camera can capture your image and can be used to train models. Your data on social media can be used to train model. That's why some of us, we always like, when we are on social media, you always like to push our real information, put our real data, which causes what we call privacy assurance. It means if I've been posting my information, my data with AI, if they're looking for me somewhere around this world, they just need to query my information on AI. I'm sure AI will provide me. Let me tell you guys, one day I was just trying to see what AI can do. I say, AI, who is Arnold Tombeck? AI went ahead and get my LinkedIn profile, get information about me on GitHub, get information about me. I think he was unable to get information about me on Facebook because I didn't have any information on Facebook that is really linked to me. So he was unable to link my request to my information on Facebook. So you see how you can someone can control you. If I need any information now about Kelly, for example, I just go and query Facebook, our AI, ChatGPT, I tell ChatGPT, I want to know more about Kelly. I'm sure ChatGPT is going to give me information about Kelly because he was trained on data that is on internet. And when he cannot even find an information on you, he will go on internet, search on internet and get that information and return it to me. So you see how this privacy issue becomes a concern with AI because you don't control anymore the data that you have there. That's why we need to take our privacy very, 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 very serious. Because with AI, with the world of AI, you don't know which data was passed to the model. And once it is trained with a specific data, it remains there. He has learned that pattern. So it means if your data was passed through the training process, AI already has your information and will keep on with those information and can always return when requested at any time and at any place. So if we talk about the ethical consideration of AI, we said the fairness. You see, AI system should treat all users equally, regardless race, gender, and background. That's something that we need to take into consideration for the ethic. We don't want AI to be able, when you want to do something with AI, he tell you that because of your race or because of your gender, I can't answer that information. That's why if you try to ask some type of silly question to AI, he will tell you simply that because he doesn't want to be biased or he doesn't want to be unethical, he'll tell you maybe I was not trained to answer such type of question. So those are, if you are asking very ethical question, you always have those type of response from those AI. And as I said, all depends. 1 second, please. As I said, all depends on the models, on the data set that was trained on. So privacy, people should have control on their personal data and how it uses by AI. That's a very important point. Your personal data. For those that are in the US, you know the importance of the social security number. Imagine your social security number being exposed by AI. That means someone that get that social security number can create credit cards on your behalf. You sit down and one day they'll start telling you that you have a credit that you don't know. And there are a lot of credit scams that exist out there just because of those type of information. That's why keeping your personal information is very, very important. When I mean personal information, I don't only talk about your social security number or your ID number or your passport number or whatever, or your driving license. I'm also talking about your phone number, your email. You need to have those information private. Those information, you don't need to always give it to any platform that requests it. For example, when I sign up on different platforms, when they request me my email, I don't always give them my email. I have my email that has my personal information. I know that those emails are being hosted by those email provider like Gmail, for example. But also try to read the terms and conditions of each of those providers to know will they sell your data or not, because those are also is something that we I beg for your pardon. Can you come again, Lomi? Okay, she's not there. So we have that privacy point that we need to take into consideration. We also have the accountability. Who is responsible for AI mistakes? That is something that we, up to today, even here in the US, there is no law that has, I don't think so, that has been passed about if AI made a mistake. Let's say we have this self-driving car that uses AI. Let's say that car had an accident while they were doing the self-driving. They were driving by themselves. Nobody was there to control them. They had an accident. Who are we going to take accountable for that accident? Is it the developer? Is it the company of the car? Is it the AI itself? So those are questions that still need to be solved. Those are areas that still need to be developed on around AI, because we cannot just say AI is good, let's just go for it, but we need to also have a certain law that govern AI. Something happened or something is being caused by AI, who is going to be accountable? Who are we going to take responsibility of that? So AI systems should also be explainable. That is, people need to know how the decisions are being made. So people need to know how the decision that AI is taking, for example, for the self-driving car, people need to know how the decision are being made. If you don't want him, because since it's a robot, you don't want him to be able to be accountable of what happens. We at least you need to know why, how those decisions are being made. The concern, users should know when they are interacting with AI and have the choice to opt out. That's why I said use AI to level up and know when the response that AI is giving you makes sense. Is what I'm receiving from AI really what's supposed to be? For example, I, as a developer, as a software engineer, when I'm writing or when I'm designing my architecture or whatever, I ask some question to AI. Now, based on that response and based on the knowledge that I have about the situation, the environment that I'm working on, I'm able to decide how to say that the response I'm getting from AI is correct or not correct. So those are the things you should be able to make those type of decisions when you are using AI. So we have talked about AI, LLM, what happened behind the scene when about training, parameterizing, and then responding with LLM. Now, where are we heading to with AI? Some people will say we have discovered almost everything with AI. There's no more things that is coming up. I would say no, we still have a long way to go with AI. We have, for example, this multimodal. That is, we have this one is to have a model where we can build, or I would say a model or an agent where it can be able to generate text, generate image, generate voice and video. So it means you have only one agent that is composed of many models, and when you request something, it's able to bring you all those information in one piece. So that's what we are talking here about, the multimodal. So here, LLM will not just understand any word. They will handle image, sound, and video too, all at once. So you see, for example, when you have ChatGPT, you cannot you cannot pass an image to ChatGPT and ChatGPT will be able to give you an answer about that. No. Meanwhile, that specific model that are capable to take an image, interpret that image, and then respond to that. So when talking about multimodal, it means you have that type of model that can read image, can read text, can read voice and video, and then merge everything to return you an output. So where you can just ask, for example, describe me a photo and you get an answer about it, or watch a video and summarize what is happening. For example, you are watching film, a series or a movie on Netflix, and at a certain point in time, you are unable to follow up the movie on Netflix. You go and then when you come back, you just ask chat AI or the multimodal model to tell him, please, I want you to watch this movie. When I'm back, give me a summary of what happened. You just go. That's where we are heading to. And I think we are even already one step into that for those that know a little bit about agentic AI and all whatnot. We are even heading one step. We're already even one step into that. So that is where we are heading to be able to have uh, agent that can understand various area of life and give us specific reply. For example, we even reach at the point where we even already have some of them. For example, for those that develop, we have the GitHub Copilot, which is there to help you to develop, to move faster. We also have Microsoft 360 Copilot, which is there. We have ChatGPT with memory and action. which is still in the early stage and is also there to help you. That you have your co-pilot that can help you either in coding, in writing code, drafting email, or help you to write report, analyze data, and do all what you think of. So that's what we have. You also have personal agent. This is something that people are trying to build out there, where you have your personal agent that is you always be with him when you need something. For example, you are in a meeting, your personal agent is there to take note for you. It can schedule a meeting for you, schedule time for groceries based on your life, your preference, build some personal agent around you that can assist you in your day-to-day life, not only work-based, but even on when you need to do groceries, when you need to go to bed, when you need to a number of hours that you need to sleep, what you need to do, and everything. So those are things that people are already working on out there to have those type of solutions that can ease the life of human that we are. So you also have AI that will be coming like tools, which this one will be a big shift. Uh, for example, you type in you type something in and then you get a specific response. For example, you can say, "Hey AI, can you help me brainstorm a specific idea or do research?" It will do that for you. So, and I think with I don't know if the reasoning model of ChatGPT and is it DeepSeek reasoning model, they are already going towards that direction. So where you have an AI that can reason and solve problem, or that can help you brainstorm into specific problem or loop into ideas. For example, let's say you have a startup idea, AI can help you brainstorm that or do some ideation around that and have a specific output that you want. So that's where we are heading. I would even say we are already one step into that. So let's go to question and discussion and then waiting for your response. If anyone has any question, just ask. I'm listening.
Monsieur Arnaud,
Yep.
thank you for that wonderful presentation.
You're welcome.
I mean, it was very explanatory. I myself I've learned a lot of things. And then I feel like we are not safe with AI because first of all, AI is not always telling the truth, and then we are probably more exposed. So my question is AI really coming in to do us as human more good or more harm?
I will say AI will be there to do us good when we need it to do us good.
Okay.
So if you just sit and said, okay, AI is there to do everything for me, and I don't want to do anything else, then AI instead doing something is instead being harmful to you. Let's take for example, you go for an interview, you use AI, you succeed your interview, you get the job. Now instead of really using AI to work to be more productive, you said, okay, AI, you are there, you can do everything, do this for me. And AI produce wrong result. You see
Mm-hmm.
that it's being harmful to you.
Okay.
Because
So
as I said,
it will always need human intervention, right?
always,
Always.
always,
At least we are clear. Yes.
in all fields, I would say AI will always need human intervention. I mean, I
Mm-hmm.
said it clearly in all fields, in all domains. For example, you are a student and you want to learn something. AI is there to help you learn. That's why I think Anthropy created Claude for education, which is there. If, for example, I want to learn anything about finance, I just go there, Finance 101. It's going to produce me all what I need to know about Finance 101.
You mean Claude.ai?
No, yeah, Claude.ai.
So if I want to learn anything about DevOps or how to
You
tackle my
go to,
interview,
they I think it was 3 weeks ago, they launched that Claude for education.
how do we use it, please?
Just sign up for their website. Let me see if I have wait. Got a lot of stuff open here. 1 second. I don't know if I have the subscription again. Load AI.
Mm.
Second. Okay.
It's a paid subscription.
No, but this I canceled my subscription. I went for something that I would need every day for coding. So I'm now using Cursor.
Mm. What I'm asking is, do we need to pay to use it?
Yeah, I think you need to pay to use it.
Okay.
Well, they send me a verification link. Why am I not receiving that code? Where is the code? Cloud. I'm not even seeing the code they send me. Normally they should say, oh, this one, I think. So because you have you always have the possibility to choose the model that you want to use or open. Why is this email not opening? Yep. Let's see what I have. Magic link. Yeah. For example, you always have this possibility to change the model and then Octopus Pro. Nope. Nope. Yeah. For example, this one. Learn here. So you see, you can then say explain this. It will do all what he wants to explain. So yeah, so that's all what it has. There are a lot of stuff that exists there for Claude, and yeah, they have a new model that's basically for education. You can have anything that you have there for Claude, for education and all what you think.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. Any other question?
Yeah, hi, Arno, and yeah, thank you so much for this awesome presentation, Ralph, please let's not know. Yeah, I had a question. While doing the introduction, you kind of talk about the difference between the traditional AI and the generative AI. Yeah, I got it. But after that, you started explaining. You explained about the LLMs. But
Mhm.
why explaining, you gave as example for the LLM, which are large language models. You gave ChatGPT, and you did the same. Why talking about examples of generative AI? So does it mean the generative AI is the same thing like the
Yeah, yeah, they are the same. It's just the same. LLM is just the large language model is when we talk about large, it means we train that on huge, that's billions of data. That large that is there means huge, huge amount of data.
But when I will make sure I got it because when you were talking about the generative AI, you said most of the type of generative AI are using are text based. I mean, you will ask, you
Yeah,
will request for information, they will return in the result in terms of text. But today, chat we have ChatGPT, for example, that has a version where you can communicate like talk to the app, say, hey, I need this, and it will reply. Maybe try doing mock interviews with the app, and you will talk with ChatGPT like if you were talking to an interviewer. Uh, does that
look,
mean
look at this line to answer your question. Here we said generative is advanced AI that can actually create new content like text, code, image, music, and even videos.
Okay, that's my bad. So because I was writing it down, I just wrote like test base. Yeah, sorry.
No, text, videos, images, everything that you can think of that you
Okay,
can find off internet. Yeah.
all right, all right. Yeah. I think I'm good.
Yeah. Any other question?
So if no one has any other question, can I go ahead and ask my question? I mean, I have a lot of questions regarding AI though, but
Yeah,
well,
yeah. Go ahead.
um, so what would be the advice that you would give to someone that has really been hearing and listening to the hype around AI, and then it's like, okay, I want to start a career in AI?
So, starting a career in AI, I would say there are a lot of way that you can do to start a career in AI. As I earlier said, AI, when you talk about AI, you talk about data. The data science part of it, you can start a career in that space. Nowadays, we also have what we call the prompting, and I think that will be something for our next discussion. So talk about prompt writing and why is it important. So that's something that I will develop next. So we'll be talking about prompt engineering, which is something really, really important. So this talk will be a series. So I started just the basic introduction of what AI is, large language model, and everything. The next thing will be prompt writing and why is it important nowadays. That's also a whole new field that has also been created around AI. You can decide to become a prompt engineer. And if you look on internet, it is true it's not really that popular, but people are out there looking for prompt engineer.
Exactly. Just to add to what you were saying, Coach Renee actually really encouraged us to look into prompt engineering because they are part of the careers in the future. Like companies will really be looking into those, hiring those prompt engineering very massively.
Exactly. So that's also something that you can also do a career on. You can I talked about data science. You can also there are a lot of space. You can also go about not just I would say not just the data part, but also building the model.
Uh, sorry,
Um,
sorry to cut. Uh, is it not really risky, like to try a career in prompt? I mean, writing prompt for AI, because day by day after day, I mean, it's true. Many people are not aware of a lot of things, but I think when the user starts from zero, the zero level completely, after doing stuff, after looking around internet, you can maybe
That
improve the prompts.
that's
I mean,
what
writing prompt.
That's
Is
why
it?
I said it is out there, but it's not really you not really see much on that. But it is out there. It's not as if it's not there. It is out there. Because to be able to write prompt, let's say you are working in a bank, prompt for finance would be different from a prompt that a developer needs to write.
which one are you stupid?
You see what I mean? So that's why I'm saying it is out there, but it's not really something that I would forcefully encourage people. I will ask people to learn how to write prompt to so that they can have prompt that can assist them in what they are doing daily. That's why I want to go next on this prompt writing and why is it important in the era of AI? Why is it important to be able to write? Because the output that you get from AI will depend on the question or on the context that AI has. And if you're not able to build a correct prompt with good context, you won't be able to have the right answer. So that's why prompt engineering is there, but not really, I'm not really seeing it initially it was just coming up. People were talking more about prompt engineering, but for some time now, I'm not really seeing it making its way. It will be there maybe for a few time, but it will definitely move away because everybody will be forced to write specific prompt for different AI that they have. So if someone wants to do career to AI, as I said, go for the data science. There are machine learning out there, machine learning engineering out there, which is something that is out there and is not willing to die. So either you go for the data science, go for the machine learning, and yeah, that's it. There's also this data engineering part because people just see about the model, training the model with huge data. As I said initially, the model cannot read the data that we have. So they do what we call tokenization. That's also another part that people need to invest time to understand those things. We also have what we call the transformer on the A on building models and everything. Those are things that people need to know if you want to be in that field. You need to know all those things. So I feel like, yeah, there are opportunity there, a lot of opportunity even. That's what I would say. A statistician also, because all when we talk about AI, everything is even the foundation of that is statistics. So statistician is also another field that people can go for. I don't know if that answer your question for those that want to do career path on AI.
Yes, yes. Thank you. Sorry, I thought
Kelly?
you, Kelly, you were talking. Sorry about interrupting.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, any go ahead with other question if you have.
Well, I think for now I'm good. I will keep the, the rest of the question for next time.
Okay.
Well, it was a wonderful presentation. Honestly, I personally I learned a lot. I hope others did too. And I really thank you for your time and your
I,
dedication.
I still have a question. I don't know if it's the conclusion already.
Yeah, yeah. Go on with your question.
Yeah, I wanted to know about yeah, for someone who wants to dive into this field, what are the tools? I mean, what are the basic tools or maybe certifications or that you would recommend?
Certification, I don't think there's any certification out there for LLMs and or for AI, whatever. No, I don't think there's any certification. They, I always said the main resource that I've been using so far is on internet. So I internet and some research paper. For example, when there's this specific model that is out, when DeepSeek they launched their model and it was really making a lot of noise. I tried to look for their research paper and try to see what they made different from what others been doing. So the way their parameter tuning that they happens, the reinforced learning that they use, and reinforced learning, for those that know a little bit of deep learning, you understand when I talk about reinforced learning, you understand what I'm talking of. So those things that I try to read them either from the research paper of those different companies, because I think ChatGPT also all had their research paper that they post out there. And I'm also following a lot of trends on AI, LLM, agentic AI, MCP, model context protocol out there. That's out there about the on AI world. So I don't know if that answers your question.
Yeah, yeah, it helps. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah. So for as I said, this would be a series of talk on AI, LLM, and all what is around. So our next one would be on prompt writing and why is it important in the world of AI. So that will be our next topic, and we'll move that way and may probably reach a level where we'll be talking about you how to use AI to leverage either as a software engineering or as a DevOps engineer or as a project manager or as a CEO or as whatever. We'll see all those type of things, and yeah, as time go on, we'll go deep into it. So thank
Okay.
you one more time for coming and for following us. We'll keep on sharing a little bit of knowledge that we have, that we know about AI and other fields in at Africa Tech. And thank you one more time. And thank you, Kelly, for giving us always this opportunity to come and share some of our knowledge that we have.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, Ano, for your time, for taking time to bring out this wonderful PowerPoint and the presentation. Really, I strongly appreciate it. And let's schedule the next one, right? Thank you so much. And thank to all those who joined. Thank you for joining.
Thank you for your thank you.
Okay. Up sharing. Okay, guys, I'll have to